so that we all can create a virtual world. And that's pretty staggering. And I think you see that every day in Second Life because of the incredible outpouring of creativity. It's staggering. So, I'm M Linden, in case you haven't met me before. And my favorite possession in Second Life is my cane noob, whose shoulder I'm sitting on here. And when we're having conversations about the user experience, I res him in, and it usually makes kind of an impact in the meeting because it kind of bounces everybody else out. People often ask me what I like most about Second Life, what's most powerful to me and what's most inspiring. And, you know, like everybody at Linden Lab, I spend at least a couple of hours in world a day working, but also a fair amount of time exploring. And there are many things that I like in Second Life, things big and small. My second favorite possession is my giant bunny behind my house. Really terrific. But not only do I like the big things in Second Life, but the small things. And I don't know if you can see the tiny avatar on my shoe, but I nearly stepped on it at SLCC. And it's a fantastic little avatar. And actually one of the features that I saw on the top 10 is to make it easier to create miniature avatars. And I understand why, because this guy made me one of M Linden, and it's kind of hard to put on your form today. Many beautiful and evocative images of Second Life. Places I've been and places that I love. Oh, I have a great collection of wonderful gray things from Second Life. And I wish I could feature wonderful creative features allows you to res things just at this level, because the world is really magical when you take away color and texture. It is. This reminds me of my father. He'd go on these long trips and come back with these slideshows, like 3,000 slides, and we'd all have to sit transfixed while we went through because they were so interesting. But anyway, this slide is great. I have to point this out. The map got fixed. That was actually one of Philip's passions, was that the map was not resing properly. And so we got the map working, and so I started using the map on full zoom. And when you zoom in and zoom out, you can find the most incredible things. Look at this space that this guy terraformed into his island, which you wouldn't have seen unless you were, you know, traveling from the sky. It's pretty cool. And people always say, you know, where do you hang out in Second Life, Em? You know, where can we find you? Well, oftentimes, you know, I'm in Linden World working. And that's an image of Linden World. It's a little bit of a slum, actually, sometimes. It's kind of junky, and we have to clean it up. That's true. Or you can find me here in real life battery office. Often in world working, which is a blast with the great avatars and great locations. Oh, yeah. That's, you'll be meeting T. Linden, the giant green frog, tomorrow at 9 a.m. You should come to his presentation because he's going to show you all the things I'm not going to show you about the product and television. Really great stuff. This is a virtual conference room in World where we often work. And it's a replica of our conference room in the battery office called Isabel. And whenever we have management meetings or meetings with groups of people, and people are working remotely, they meet in Isabel. And the amazing thing is it's continuous mixed reality, because we have images, video images, live video images of the room itself with the real participants being in World, so that people who are in World in the conference room can see what's really happening in the physical conference room. And that kind of continuous mixed reality, once you get past kind of the first confusing interaction where you are forgetting whether you're in World or real world, it's incredibly impactful. And Phil worked on this, got the sound working perfectly, so we have this 3D sound, which is what's so great about the sound in Second Life, in the conference room, and it's the best sort of conference meeting space I've ever encountered. story about this, and I'm not going to talk about every slide. Philip talked about the hype cycle, and I'm going to talk more about it in a moment, but probably a month or so ago, a reporter, Chris Abraham, wrote kind of an unkind blog post in Ad Age about comparing Second Life to Twitter. Essentially saying that Twitter is everything that Second Life isn't, light, easy, social, etc. And, it was another one of those articles. We haven't seen them for a while, so it definitely had to declutter. But the great thing about it was that the Second Life community took that guy down. So, really to see, and I was happy it wasn't me for a change. Kofi and Gwen commented pretty vociferously on his blog post, and it was great because it made him think again about Second Life and its power. And so he said, I'm happy to come back to Second Life and be reintroduced if someone wants to show me around. Doosan showed him around Second Life, and then he came to my office last week, and I showed him that, no, we're not dead and gone. In fact, we're growing at a very nice clip. And I think we reconverted him to the cause. That's Howard Linden's psychedelic hangout in Second Life. Quite amazing. That's Path, who's here, flying me around. Actually, I was sitting on his shoulder there, flying around the support there. I also spend time in Second Life relaxing, because I'm an introvert, so you'll see oftentimes I'm alone in the pictures. That's by choice. It's not because Second Life is, is completely lonely, but it's a great place to relax and rejuvenate. That's my house. That's the little cove that I terraformed just after I terraformed it, before I changed the textures and added the sea foam and the little beach. But I was quite proud of that. And someone asked me yesterday, actually, a gentleman who's writing a book, whether, and I think he more meant it for Philip, but he asked if in the role of CEO you ever feel godlike. And the truth is no. I mean, it's an incredibly humbling job, so the last thing you're going to feel like is a god. But the one moment that was really magical and is almost impossible to describe is the first time you pull a mountain out of the sea when you're terraforming it. I mean, it was at that point I got a second island in the land addiction began. I mean, it was a really incredibly powerful experience. Lots of amazing things. This year, the Linden Prize served for so many wonderful community creations that are just so ambitious in their undertaking. This year, we hosted sort of a trade fair for service providers in Second Life. And it was really terrific, and we got great feedback for it, and we'll be doing a lot more things like this. But we had a trade show afterwards, and I wandered around just like you do in any trade show, and went to the most popular booth. And this was a guy who was giving away free beer, virtual beer. And as you would find, in real life, of course, that's where everyone was hanging out, where there was beer. So it's true. Absolutely amazing. Also, chance encounters. The best encounters I have with residents are usually chance encounters. And here, a gentleman was in the sky working on his sim, and he wandered down to talk to me. So you're back at SLCC with that thing. I love that coming out. He said he got stuff on me many times. Funky guy I found in Versailles. Oh, put a little orange on that. If you put a little orange and some distortion, you'd have a Francis Bacon painting. Right? Mixing it up with residents, I got slaughtered at the Snowball fight at Winter Fair. Bill, I'm hanging out, listening to music in world. Oh, this is a shoe store in Second Life. How many of you have been there to buy shoes? It's pretty amazing. People always say, oh, you buy extra, you sell it, it's going to kill shopping in world. No, not if stores look like this. I mean, absolutely amazing. The shoes and the way they're merchandised. I bought a pair, I've never worn them. And And I probably won't, but I bought them. And that's after I sized up my avatar, because I'm normal height in second, normal, like real world height in Second Life, which makes me tiny. And these girls, of course, were like 7 feet tall. They were making fun of me, so I had to stretch my avatar. More like a man, I guess. That's when we opened up Zindra. The first 2 people I encountered